All right, so this is a little bit different of a review video. I am just going to go over the filled out answer key, but talk about some points. So if that helps you just with a little bit deeper understanding, there you go. All right, so remember on your quiz, you're going to have the definitions of these, or not definitions, but the symbols of these different statements on your quiz. Okay. So remember, conditional is, let me change this to a thinner thing. So you're going to have this on there. P gives you Q. And that's where you just add if and then in the sentence. So if an angle has a measure of 167, then it's an obtuse angle. You're just adding those words in here and here, really. All right. Then the converse is you just switch them. So Q, then P. So you just take this and move it to the front. If an angle is obtuse, then it has a measure of 167. You're pretty much using the same words. You're just moving it around. And then you have inverse, which is back to the original kind of, but not P and not Q. So all we do is we're going to take this one and add a not. Now you wouldn't say has not, but you would say does not. You put not right here. And then you say it does not right here. And that is what we have on the third statement. If an angle does not have a measure, then it is not obtuse. And the last one is like the second one and the third one, where it's not Q gives you not P. And so we're going to take this one now, the switcheroo, and negate them both. So again, if an angle is not obtuse, then it does not have a measure of 167. Okay? That's the first part, is just getting the adaptations down. And if you understand how these work, that will be all you need to know, because you don't have to memorize them. They're going to be on the quiz. So then you have to analyze each statement. And sometimes you might need to draw a picture or whatever, or just think through it, because these can be confusing. So if an angle has a measure of 167, that's bigger than 90, it's obtuse, that's true. If an angle is obtuse, it's 167. Well, just think about any other angle over 90, 91, 99, 103, 174. That means this is false. If an angle is not 167, then it's not obtuse. Not true. It could be 175. That's not 167, but it is obtuse. So when you're doing these trues and false, don't quickly go through and go, oh, just true, false. Think about possible situations. Okay? Think about any other number that's not 167. Okay. 84. That's not obtuse. So you might want to hit true. But then you think about, what about 150? Okay? So go through more than one scenario to try to see if it's true or false. The last one, if an angle is not obtuse, okay, that means it's acute or right, then it does not have a measure of 167. Okay? Well, if it's not obtuse, all right, which means it's acute, then it won't be 167. If it's right, it won't be 167. If it's straight, 180, it won't be 167. So that's a true statement. These can be confusing. Don't be in a hurry on them. All right? So I'm not going to do the walkthrough of the P's and Q's here, but just go through the trues and false. So if you're in physics, you will always have homework. Originally started to put true, but no, it's false. Doesn't matter. Any class, you don't always have homework. If you always have homework, you're in physics class. Not necessarily, so that's false. If you're not in physics class, let's just say you're in English, then you don't always have homework. Again, not always true. And if you don't always have homework, then you're not in physics class. Again, not true. You could be in physics class. So sometimes it can end up like that where they're all false. All right, number 3, if I take my test, I'll get my license. Wish it was that easy. Not necessarily. Okay? You could flunk the test. If I get my license, then I will take my driver's test. Sometimes it's awkward because it'll be like, I will have taken my driving test. Well, yeah, because they don't hand out licenses without that, so that's true. If I don't take my driver's test, I won't get my license. Well, that's true too. You can't go in there and go, you know what, I don't feel like taking the test today, just give me the license. It doesn't happen. If I don't get my license, I didn't take my test. Okay, that's a tough one. It can be confusing, but if I don't get my license, then I didn't take my test. Not necessarily, you could have taken the test, but flunked it. So this one could be a confusing one where you might think true, but no, there's a situation where you could have flunked. All right, find a counterexample. The sum. Break down the words. This means add, plus, of a positive number and a negative number. So all you do is come up with some examples, all right? And you pick a positive number and a negative number. Now, you got to be careful, because what if I did 7 plus negative 2? All right? That would be 5, and that would be positive. And you go, oh, it's true. But notice here, I have more negatives than positives. In that case, I have proven it wrong. So yes, you could come up with scenarios that prove it true, but you have to check and see if there's ones that prove it wrong. If a figure has 4 sides, it's a rectangle. No, it could be a square, it could be a trapezoid, it could be a bunch of different shapes that are not a rectangle. All right, use inductive reasoning to make a conjecture about the given quantity, then use deductive reasoning to show it's true. Okay? So the sum of two negative numbers. So again, sum means plus, and they're both going to be negative. So all you do is test it a few times, and you look at that and go, oh, it's negative. The difference, which means subtraction, of two even numbers. Well, it's even. Happens to be the same case for odd numbers also, because every other number is odd, every other number is even. They are 2 apart. Okay, use a diagram to determine whether you can assume the statement. So you be careful in this one. D, B, and C are coplanar. Well, here's D, here's B, here's C. They are all on that same plane. Yes. E, A, and F is parallel to DBC. So EAF, which is this plane, these are the points in that plane. Do these two planes look like they're parallel? Yeah, they do. Could they be slightly off by 1 degree? Yeah, they might be. So you cannot assume that they are parallel. You have no markings telling you they're parallel. You cannot assume. Line M intersects AB at point A. So let's find out, find everything. Line M, that's right here. Okay? It intersects AB. Where's AB? Right here. At point A. Yes, it does. Now, does it intersect at point B? No, it does not. So read carefully. Line DC, where's that? Well, it's not drawn, but we could make one here. Line DC, right there, lies in plane DBC. Well, yes, because of the picture, but also here's the clue. DBC. DC. It has to. DBG is 90 degrees. Okay? Right here, this angle right here. Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. I was DBG. My mistake. Oh, DBG, that's what we're talking about. So DBG, I said C. DBG is right here. You know, is it 90 degrees? It doesn't look 90 degrees, but from another angle, maybe it is, maybe it's not, but you cannot assume. Without the right angle symbol, you cannot assume, and so that's no. All right, you and your friend are bowling. Your friend claims the statement, if I got a strike, I use a green ball. Can be written as a true biconditional statement. So remember, biconditional means if and only if. So it'd be if I got a strike, or I got a strike, if and only if I use green ball. And no, that's not going to be always true. I'm sure your friend could probably get a strike with another colored ball. But remember, biconditional if and only if. Very important. All right, last few. The table shows the 1 mile running times of the members of a high school track team. What conjecture can you make about the running times of the females and the males? All right? Remember, conjecture. You're not making judgment. You're just looking at the data only. All right? The males are faster than the females. That's conjecture. Okay? 541 is faster than anything on the left side. 607, faster than everything. 513 for sure. 521 for sure. 601, these are all faster. Now, is that deductive or inductive? It's inductive because you're looking at patterns, right? Remember, inductive is when like a police officer looks at a scene. So maybe think about it this way. They called the police officer in to investigate. To investigate. They are looking for patterns. So they investigate. That is inductive reasoning. All right? And deductive is when it's based on previous knowledge or facts or things that you just know to be true.